Hey everyone, welcome to another What's on My Hook, and I think this one was going to be a bit more let me ask you stuff, so maybe you can help me, and less what's on my hook, but we'll see how it goes. First of all, if you're new here, hi, welcome. My name is Riet, and on this channel I share all my crochet adventures. I'm relatively new to crochet, and yeah, I just, you know, I love the online community, and I want to be a part of it. So that's what I'm doing here. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and I would love it if you subscribed. So the first thing that is happening here that is a bit, I think, a faux pas on a crochet channel, but there you go, is I just knitted some samples of these beautiful yarns that I really love. So this one is the, you know, the one I used for that other sweater. I'll link you to that here. It's a synthetic yarn that is just so soft and glorious. And if you, like me, only use vegan-friendly yarns, then you might be interested in trying something like this, because I can't use like all the mohair-like sweaters, but I do like yarns, but I do love the look of them, like that, you know, halo, soft, very light look. And so this yarn, wait, I'll bring you, I want to be a good YouTuber. So this is the yarn. This is a French brand, and this one is made, this yarn is made in Italy, and this is probably my favorite color in their range. It's called berlingot, or probably something that should be spoken with a French accent, which I can't do. Well, I can do the accent, but not very well. And it's kind of weird since I'm not French and I don't speak French. So this is the yarn, and I made a sweater of it, and I love it. And so I tried, the woman that designed that gorgeous sweater has a lot, actually more knitting patterns, and I do think that with her techniques it's probably more cost effective and just creates a nicer, lighter fabric when you knit it, as opposed to Tunisian crochet, which is what she has. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just check that sweater video, because it'll make things easier. So I tried to knit, I knitted a little sample, and I just love the way that it looks. So I used the needle she recommends for a different pattern. It's like a really, I'll show you, it's really pretty summer top. So this is the website. She has kits, she has gorgeous patterns, she has ready to wear sweaters that she sells. I love everything on that website, but it's all done with mohair. So I wanted to do this top. It looks super pretty, and I didn't know if this yarn would work, because I've never worked with mohair and I don't know what kind of weight she uses and whatever. So I did this according to the size that she recommended, and it's pretty much good when the gauge is, I think it's okay, but I don't know if it's not like just a bit too open for what I would like. So I'm thinking of going down a hook size and then adjusting, even though my gauge might be off, kind of adjusting the size. So maybe do the instructions for a size larger than I would actually need to compensate for the smaller gauge. I might do that. But even though this was kind of my first attempt of knitting after 12 years, and this is the stocking or stockinette stitch, and even though I'm pretty sure it's a horrible idea to start with this kind of yarn to learn anything like knitting or crochet on anything, I am super lazy and stubborn that way, so I just went for it, and it was okay. It was like a bit fiddling, but it was okay. And it's not as hard to knit or crochet with this yarn if you're using kind of a more open stitch. If you're doing something very tight, then it starts to get more challenging, which is probably not a problem for you if if you're not an absolute beginner, but I just thought I would mention it. So I also made a little note here so I will know what I did here, and yeah, I just love it. And then I wanted to see how this other wool that I've been obsessed with, the Katia Pluma, which I've shown in other videos, I wanted to see how that would look because I thought it might also be a good option for this shirt. And I bought this beautiful color. I'll show you. Well, actually two really beautiful colors. So this one is color 72, I think it's called Rosé. And you can see it's just like a super muted pink. And then this one is also gorgeous. And it says 74. I don't remember the name, like the color name. But yeah, so this is called Pluma, and this is mostly cotton. It's like 70%, 85% cotton and 15% polyamide. And it's just beautiful. And I think it would probably be a better choice than this full-on synthetic one. So I tried knitting with it. It was a bit more challenging than with this yarn. As I said, I think both are pretty bad choices for, you know, beginner, which I am. Like with knitting, I'm an absolute beginner. This is pretty much all I've knitted in the last 12 years. But I think, like on one hand, this color is giving me the feels, and then on the other, these two are also, I mean, I just have the one skein of each, so I would need to order more. But I kind of, and I also have this color, which I think would just be beautiful for maybe like a cardigan or something a bit more wintry. This doesn't say summer to me. I bought it because I thought actually these two could work really well together. And I do think they look nice together, but still, it's giving me more winter vibes. This is definitely giving me summer vibes. So I kind of want to use this color, but I want to use this yarn. Leave me a comment if you feel my pain with which yarn should you go for. So I'm kind of undecided. But I think this would be a good project for me to start with because I love the way that it looks. It does have, it's all done in stocking stitch except the bottom, I think, and maybe the neckline, which has some ribbing, which, you know, I think I can get through it because there's not a lot of it. But yeah, that's what I really, really want to do as kind of my first knitting project. Back to the little basket. Okay, and then the next project, which I would really, really appreciate your input, is this. Okay, so help me out. Sorry about the squeaking. It's my chair. I have a squeaky chair. Okay, so this is a beautiful pattern that I found on Etsy. On Etsy, I think? I don't know. Or on her website. What are you called? Linda Skia, I want to say, I'm not sure. It's called the Slide Tank Top. So I will leave links to everything below. And if I forget, just, you know, leave me a comment. So I have these skeins that I bought, like I have a few of these, and these are not cheap. This is Twister by Hobbii. And this is 55% cotton and 45% acrylic. What's nice about it is that it's not... Well, I was kind of scared to crochet with it because it's so thin. It has 250 grams, will give you 100 meters. It's classified as a number 2. And yeah, I was a little bit scared of it. But it was like one of those things when I started to crochet, it just looked so amazing. So I grabbed a few, and then it's been lying in my... you know, stash for months. And then I thought, okay, I'll do this summer top, which she also uses kind of a similar yarn, and it just looks gorgeous. It has this pattern of short rows, which, you know, you have to do like a lot of marking, and yeah, I kind of enjoy it. And it's always fun with these kinds of yarns that, you know, you want to keep on going and see when the colors changes. My problem with this, so the gauge that she gives is, this is a number 2 yarn, and she recommends using a 3.5 millimeter needle. 3.5 or 375? 375 millimeter hook. and her gauge is like 16 stitches per 10 centimeters or 4 inches. And I was like, I used the hook she recommended, and I was way off, like way off. And eventually I tried a 4mm hook, still way tighter than her gauge. And then, I mean, you can see also here it says the gauge is 26 stitches. Now, I don't know which kind of stitches, but you know, it's still like a big difference. And I was like, okay, let me try a 4.5. So I tried a 4.5mm hook, and I'm still not there. So it was still like a bit more stitches than her gauge. And I decided to go with it. And I just, she does start with a foundation row, which I really appreciate. It just makes it very easy to kind of get a good idea of the, you know, width of your project. And so I went with a size that I thought would work, even though my gauge is a little bit off. But I think since it's like such a kind of more lacy top, you know, I think if I block it and I can stretch it a bit. So even though my gauge is not on point, I feel like I managed to kind of compensate and the size will fit me. What I want to ask you is, first of all, does it happen to you that you're so off the gauge? Like, I don't know. I don't know how other people crochet, but I'm like, am I like, can it be that I crochet so tightly? I never thought I did, but never thought since I've been crocheting for a few months. But I don't know. And then, yes, she uses a different yarn, but I looked at comparisons of like this yarn and the one that she uses. And first of all, I ordered one skein of the yarn she uses to try, because first of all, it's 100% cotton, which, you know, I want to see how it compares to this. I would prefer to use 100% cotton than like half and half of acrylic and cotton. But I thought, okay, maybe it's like more fluffy or something, so the stitches look, you know, like the fabric that you create just looks a lot more solid or something. Because I'll tell you my issue. This, now I understand that there are rows here that have holes in them, but I'm talking about the rows of the just double crochet. And I know it's hard to judge on camera, but I don't know. I'm like, is this still too open? Now, of course, what I could do is go down a hook size to a 4mm or even a 375. And again, just adjust my gauge to the measurements that I want, and then follow, you know, it could be like her extra large instruction, like extra large size instructions. And, you know, maybe that'll work for me. But I just wanted to ask you if like, is this like too open for a top? Like, I never really made a very kind of lacy, I don't think this is lacy because it's not a lacy pattern, you know, it's like double crochet. So I don't know, what do you think? Do you think this would look good? I mean, probably with these kinds of things, with this kind of stitch, I would have to wear something underneath anyway. So maybe it's actually nice that it's so airy, but I would just like your feedback. If you've tried something similar, if you've used a similar yarn, kind of just tell me your experience and what do you think? Like, I think this would look pretty. I think the, you know, the stitch looks very nice, and I'm just wondering if it's not too open, that it's just like wearing a net. And yeah, I don't know. I'm a bit torn. I worked on this a lot. You have to kind of pay attention with each way that the row ends, and I think I might have to adjust just slightly the end of some rows because it just like puckers up a little bit. So I'm thinking I might have to like maybe switch one single crochet with a slip stitch or something like that. But yeah, I think it looks really pretty, and I think, you know, it's just like so nice to make something so light, especially when you'll see the next thing that I've been doing and you'll hear my feedback about it. But I guess the good news is that I do feel kind of more motivated to work with thinner yarn. I think the nice thing about summer tops is that, you know, there's just less to make. And for me, I can still get a relatively like satisfying experience and a relatively fast result with like a summer top using thinner yarns, which I wouldn't get if I wanted to make like a big sweater. You know, it would just take me forever with a very like a number 2 yarn. So yeah, I really want to use, I have a few of these. Actually, the other colors that I have are not, yeah, I think I would prefer them for like home decor and not necessarily to wear. But yeah, let me know if if you use these kind of, you know, cotton or acrylic cotton mix. And I've seen a lot of like shawls. I think it's a great yarn for shawls, but I just don't know if I'm like a shawl person. I might try to do another one of those summer breeze tops from Cinnamon Stitches with just like a little hook, like a 3.5 hook, and because those are just like a joy to make. So I might try and do that. Aren't the colors gorgeous? This is the color 30. I think it's beautiful. These are like totally my colors, and then I think the blue is a really nice contrast. Okay, so this is this experience. So speaking of not so thin yarns, we have this. So this top you have seen before, and I kind of finished it. The only thing that I discovered that was a bit of an oopsie was that basically at the bottom, I just kind of, you know, I just crocheted until I ran out of yarn. So until my skein was like done. And then I did like all the stitching and everything, and I didn't notice that, you know, I actually did the join here and the row was not finished. So the join here is a little bit off. I guess I could finish it, and yeah, I don't think it makes such of a difference because of the cut. And I thought what I should do is just go around and do like a slip stitch or, you know, some other finishing touch. I actually thought about doing like a little bubble bottom, but I don't know if I have the patience for it. So this pattern, I showed you the thing. Okay, so my impressions are that I really like this yarn. This is the Baby Modal from Ice Yarns, but I just don't think that I should make these summer tops even with a 3-weight yarn. I mean, I don't know, maybe something more open, but then it's not really my aesthetic. Or maybe it is when it's like super thin. I don't know. I'm so fickle. But I'm, you know, figuring things out as I go. And I do like the shape of it, but it's a little bit, I mean, if you want like a maternity top, I think this would be fantastic. It's just a bit chunky. Like, I'm thinking, you know, maybe too chunky for like a summer top. I just don't know if the whole effect of it fits the style or what it's supposed to be. Another thing that I really had to adjust was the whole like design. So you can see there are some rows of, I'll show you just the front. There are some rows at the beginning of like, this is half double, then you have this lacy thing, then you have some more half double, and then you go into like the increasing and creating this ruffle look, which I really, really love. And I think this would look beautiful with kind of a thinner yarn, I think. But what I had to adjust was just like the length of this section. Well, first of all, I also had to adjust the width because even her small size was huge. And I matched the gauge, so I don't know, like, I understand that you can design to every body type, but this still felt kind of really off. And then in the back, I don't know, sometimes I feel like patterns, they make the back until you start like doing increases so short that I'm like, okay, maybe I'm a bit of a camel, like maybe I have like a hump on my back that I'm not aware of. But I just feel this is already the second pattern, and I'm talking about like different designers, that I just felt like I don't know who they're, like, this really doesn't fit my body. And again, I'm not blaming designers, but let me know if you've had that issue also. Like, I don't know, maybe they're like super skinny and, you know, their backs are like really, really straight, or maybe, yeah. So I guess don't be afraid to adjust things once you understand where things are supposed to go. And the original design of this shirt is like, you know, you just stitch the top, you just like do a shoulder seam. But yeah, it wasn't working for me, so I added little straps, I guess, or like shoulder straps. So I think I'll just do like a single crochet just to make it look a bit tidier. I mean, this looks nice because it's like a foundation row and it looks very clean in my opinion, but I'm not sure I like the sides of this. And if this was a simpler pattern, I would definitely consider adding like a cute little ruffled sleeve, like just, you know, a bit at the top here. But I think there's already like enough going on and it doesn't need more on it. So yeah, that's kind of like, this was a really fun make, even with all the adjustment, and I did a lot of adjustments, like trying it on, taking it off, adding the shoulder straps and everything, but it was still really fun to make. And I just think that for like summer tops, I should stick with number 2 yarn and leave the number 3, even the ones that are like really light, for cardigans or even like short sleeve shirts, but not these like summer tops, I think. Yeah, it's just like a bit too heavy. What I also am interested in, let me know if you tried, is I've seen so many designers use the Lion Brand Kobu yarn, which is a bamboo cotton mix, and I can get it from Lovecrafts, but the reason I'm not too crazy, I'm in Europe, I'm in Austria, I'm not so crazy about ordering from Lovecrafts because their shipping is like 3 weeks, and every other place that I order from is usually like a week. If I order from Turkey, from Ice Yarns, it's around 9 days. So that's a bit the issue, but I thought about trying some of the bamboo cotton yarns from Hobbii, which I really, really love their website and their yarns and their delivery and customer service and everything. So I might try that, but let me know if you tried Kobu, if it's like as, you know, good and kind of unique or like worth getting. I would love to know. I'm really curious because, yeah, I don't know. It seems like a lot of designers use it. And I don't know if my substitutes, even if I match their gauge and weight and everything, you know, maybe I'm missing out on something, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so thank you so much for your patience, and thank you in advance for all of the advice that I hope I will get, and input and feedback. And I will see you soon in another video. Take care. Bye bye.